I'm Snoop Dogg, and I'm giving up smoke. I know what you're thinking. Snoop, smoke is kind of your whole thing. But I'm done with it. I'm done with the coughing and my clothes smelling all funky. I'm going smokeless. Solo stove, fixed fire. They took out the smoke. Now you can have a nice blaze without any clouds ruining your day. Go smokeless. Go to solostove.com. Tell them Big Snoop Dogg sent you.
When things feel a bit chaotic, Instacart helps deliver milk and sausage. Add a little life to your cart. Get stuff from literally all your stores, from baby wipes to albacore. Add a little life to your cart. Instacart helps get your groceries. Your first 3 deliveries are free.
Download Instacart. Add life to cart. Terms apply.
Are you ready? You want the noise brought on you? Because here it comes. What? The noise brought on you, because here it comes.
Just my job.
This is the Bob and Jeff Show, starring Bob Lutz.
How do I turn the dial on a show I'm on? I feel like I got nowhere to go.
Truth be told, a majority of the American people would ultimately empathize with our situation.
Jeff Lutz.
The reason there's no weaklings is because there's no stronglings.
Nature versus nurture. Nature always wins.
97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Everything you need to make it happen.
Let's check in on the American Athletic Conference. We have not started conference play in basketball as of yet. Florida Atlantic, certainly the best team, we believe, has 2 losses, one to Bryant, which we can't explain, the other to Illinois, in which they gave up 98 points. They have Florida International, St. Bonaventure, and Arizona upcoming, then Florida Gulf Coast before beginning American play on January 2nd at home against East Carolina. We would still deem Florida Atlantic, a Final Four team last year, to be the favorite, correct?
I don't know. It's them or Memphis. I don't know if Memphis is too far off, especially after now they get Naquan
I just
Tom.
question their coaching. Memphis, certainly a very good team at 7-2. They have losses to Villanova by 16 and Ole Miss. They've recently beaten VCU and then an impressive win in College Station, 81-75 against Texas A&M. They have 13th ranked Clemson coming up on Saturday, and then Virginia, Vanderbilt, Austin Peay before they begin conference play against Tulsa. We like Memphis. We think they're certainly in the mix.
What is Clemson doing ranked 13th in the country?
They're playing well.
I get it, but it's Clemson.
Well, Clemson's had good seasons.
I understand that, but I'm just saying, it's Clemson.
Well, but explain what you mean by that idiotic statement.
Clemson should not just be 13th
Why?
in the country. Because they've never been, I don't think, that good. They've been good, but they've not been.
Of course they've been a top 25 team.
Okay, I'm not talking about top 25. When do you think they've made the Sweet 16 a bunch?
Let's look at Tulane next up in our American. They're 6-2. They have a loss to Bradley, and then Mississippi State and Chris Jans beat them by 30 in their most recent game. They have Furman, Southern, George Mason, and Dillard before opening against Rice. Tulane, the jury's out. I'm not sure how good Tulane is. That's my thought on them.
I don't know. I haven't seen Tulane. I haven't watched their game, so I don't know.
Wichita State 7-3, coming off a couple losses in a row. Temple at 6-3 in the as an American team. They have lost games to Columbia, Ole Miss, and St. Joe's. They don't have any real impressive wins. They did beat Drexel. They did beat Albany, but I don't know what to make of Temple either. I'm not sure. Not sure about Temple. What do you think?
I don't know about Temple. I don't think I have an opinion on Temple. It seems like they're going to be average. They've been just around pretty much average for the last few seasons. Got
the Tulsa Golden Hurricane, which has had no real success in recent years. Did get off to a 4-0 start, beating no one. They lost to Little Rock. They lost to Oral Roberts. They lost to Oklahoma State. They did mix in a win over Loyola of Chicago in that. So Tulsa, we think, is better, but certainly not anywhere close to being in contention. We don't believe.
Right. I mean, who's going to disagree with that?
East Carolina, which is yawn. They've got wins over Campbell, Georgia Southern, Kennesaw State, UNC Wilmington, Maryland Eastern Shore. They were beaten by South Carolina, George Mason, Northeastern, and South Carolina Upstate. East Carolina, don't see it.
They're bad.
I don't see it with them.
Well, see what?
I don't see any improvement. That's what I'm looking for here. SMU, they are 6-4. They at least have played a decent schedule. They have a win over Lamar, a win over West Virginia. They've lost games to Arizona State, Dayton, Wisconsin, and Texas A&M. All good opponents. I think SMU's probably a good team. I don't know how good.
Is Arizona State good? Do we know that's a good loss?
Well, anytime you play that kind of a schedule, I'm going to give you some credit. Charlotte, which I heard somebody describe on radio either today or yesterday as being a pretty good team. I don't know if I see it. They just lost to Duke by 24. They lost to Davidson. They lost to Central Florida, and they lost to Liberty. Their most impressive win is probably against George Mason. I don't know. I don't know what I think about Charlotte.
They play Central Florida in the non-conference, but not in the conference.
Huh?
They play Central Florida. Oh, the Central Florida's not in the conference anymore.
Central Florida's in the Big 12.
That's too bad. I forgot about that.
Don't forget about things. Yeah, I know it's tough to keep up.
It is.
North Texas, which I think is probably okay. They are coming off a couple of losses in a row to Boise State and Fordham. I happened to watch Fordham last night against Duke, and they were pretty competitive in that game. North Texas lost to them by a point. They also have losses to St. John's and LSU, and no real wins of note, unless you count Northern Iowa. So I don't know what to think of North Texas.
Not good.
As we get deeper into the season. UTSA coming off, they've done nothing in basketball. They're 5-4 this year. They have won 3 in a row against Incarnate Word, Lamar, and Arkansas Fort Smith. Losses to Texas State, Lamar, Minnesota.
Lamar twice?
Yeah, they played Lamar twice. Don't see it with UTSA. Just don't see it. Not impressed. South Florida, which has never impressed me. They are 4-4. They have a win over Florida State, and then they followed that up with a win over Arkansas Pine Bluff. They've lost to Central Michigan, Maine, Hofstra, and UMass. I don't know.
Are we just going through every team?
We are, because I've wanted to do this for a while. No, we aren't. I am.
Okay. Have at it. I mean,
yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm catching our listeners up on the American Athletic
when
Conference.
I try to catch them up on stuff, you say, oh, they already know that. They're not idiots.
UAB has lost 3 in a row to McNeese, Southern Mississippi, and Arkansas State. They did have a win over Furman. They did beat Maryland. They lost to the aforementioned Clemson. They lost to Bradley. They've played some teams I've heard of at least. UAB looks like they're down a little bit this season after some good years. So we'll see. And then finally, out of the American Conference, the Rice Owls. They are 4-6. They won their opener, then they lost 5 in a row to Harvard, Texas, Indiana State, New Mexico, UC Irvine. They also lost by 36 to Houston. Not a good team. Not a good team. So that's where we are with the American.
That's where we are. We appreciate the look in,
well,
the update.
That's a pretty good look.
I mean, you just said every game that everybody's played. If you want me to...
I want if I was driving through and I'm a fan of the American, and I'm kind of wondering, how's this conference shaping up? I'll bet Bob Lutz will tell me. And that's what I just did.
You did.
I told them.
You went through every game that every team has played.
I did. Because you know why? Because it interests me. And here's what I've learned over the years. When I use equipment, it works. Inside joke. And secondly,
With who?
And secondly, I know I trust my judgment on things.
Okay.
From my years in the media world, I know what people are going to be interested in. Just because you're not interested,
It's not that I'm not interested. It
doesn't
just-
mean a thing to
just
me.
Might have been maybe a better way to present that information.
How so?
I don't know. Just I don't know. I just haven't thought
Well,
about
give
it.
me a thought. How would you have better? I went through that in 10 minutes.
Yeah,
I got people up to date on every team in the American.
every game, every team. That's a way to do it. Certainly.
Yeah, I want people to know what teams
Maybe
are doing.
we could tell them about their power rankings, what some of the metrics say
Why
about
would
some
I
of
do
these
that?
teams. Because that gives you a bigger picture. How does this team play? What's their style of play?
I want people to know how they've fared against the competition they've played, what their schedules look like. That's what I wanted people to know.
But that's all
I
in
could
the
go
past.
to Ken Palm. Who cares?
But KenPom is a way to tell what the team might be. You're just
what
giving
have you done to inform listeners?
You're just giving me what they've done in
You
the
know what?
past.
Here and people understand this. They know I'm touchy on stuff. When you're not paying attention to our interviews, you lose
Oh,
me.
please. I don't have anything to offer on Wonka.
That's when you lose me.
Then you're lost.
Right.
Get back.
Paying attention is a key part of this stuff.
I always listen to our interviews. Mike was talking about something I don't know about. And, you're the movie guy.
Right, I am. But when I turn to you and
You
you're
know,
on your phone checking baseball stuff, that's not a service to our listeners.
Nor is it
That's
not
a
a service.
disservice.
No, it's not. A disservice would be me chiming in on Wonka when I have no
How
idea.
often do I get on my phone during a 2-hour radio show?
I don't know.
When we're on the air, when we're live, when we're actually.
I don't know, and I don't
churning
know
with
that it's
it.
that big of a deal. But
I
if
don't
you
know
want
if it's a big deal, but I need you to be engaged. And when I have an idea of how I want to present something, I need you to support it.
really,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Could I support it by maybe offering a better idea?
No,
Okay.
no, you
so
can't.
you want blind support?
Yeah,
All right.
because your better ideas don't often turn into better ideas.
Well, you gave us again the past of what this team has done. Those metrics
right.
are going to.
Now everybody who listened to that 10 minutes, and we went through it in 10 minutes, everybody is kind of up to date on what other teams in the American have done.
But those metrics
Not just
are going to tell us what they are
If you say the word
forecast.
metrics again,
They are forecasting what the team
here's
will
what you can do with your metrics. You know
See, I'm
what?
making a good point, and you can't even hear it.
No, I completely hear it.
What am I saying?
Metrics.
But what is their value in this context?
Right now, according to what I wanted to do in this segment, they have no value.
But what am I explaining their value
Why
to
would
be?
I tell you, well, North Texas has the metric of 78?
Because that would be nice.
Who cares?
Because that would be nice. That doesn't reflect.
Instead, what I did was bring listeners up to date on what North Texas has actually done.
Okay, but we want
Not how what
But
they've
when
done
North Texas
has been measured by Ken Pomeroy.
But when North Texas plays Wichita State, nobody's going to care that they lost to whoever you said they lost to. They're going to care about what the matchup is, what it says North Texas is like,
Well, I
what
think
their
you're wrong.
strengths are, what their weaknesses are.
I think you're wrong.
Well, okay. That's just two ways of looking
There
at
you
it.
go. In fact, I know you're wrong.
No, I'm pretty sure I'm right.
We could line up the metrics every day, but how has North Texas done? Who have they played? Where are their big wins? Do they have any? Same way with every other school. That's kind of what we talked about. It may not take into account your precious metrics.
I like predictive more than I like reflective.
I don't care what you like.
I'm just saying.
I don't care.
I know you don't
What
care.
you have to understand is I don't care what
I know
like.
you don't care, but I'm allowed to talk to the listeners as well.
Then talk to them.
I did. I explained my point of
Tomorrow
view.
at 3:00, you got the Jive Talk segment.
No, I don't.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
not-
turning it over to you.
No, you always go to these extremes.
Go for it. What do you
when-
got? What are we going to have? The metrics of what?
you always go to these extremes when you don't even, there are nuances to what I'm talking about. You don't want to hear the nuances. You want to just go
What's
jump.
tomorrow's 3 o'clock segment about?
I'm not going to be here.
What do you mean you're not going to be here?
I'm gonna have it. You and Duda do the Jive Talk segment.
Really?
Yeah, I'll grade it afterwards.
Oh, you're good at that.
Thank you.
Passing judgment.
Well, that's what
That's
we
your
just did about
specialty.
North Texas.
That's your specialty. Not trying to help out
I thought I did help out.
Not at all. You haven't helped out the show one bit today.
Not at all.
No, all you've given me is stuff I'm angry about.
Well,
On and off.
I
the
think
air.
maybe you're preconditioned to have been angry then.
Well, then that, yeah, maybe so.
Don't be angry.
I like being angry.
Okay.
When it's called for.
Well, just be angry then.
When it's called for, there's nothing wrong with anger.
I disagree.
Why?
Because what's the point?
Well, it's getting something off your chest, being angry about something, feeling. You know, how could you let that happen? What are we going to do? How do you rectify a situation?
That doesn't seem like anger. That seems
where
like
are we
logic.
going with this? What's the next step? That's what I'm thinking
So
about.
logic.
Huh?
So logic, not really anger.
No, I'm angry
Anger-
about it.
Anger does not lead to logic. Anger leads to bad decision making, and
Not with me.
I don't think you've made great decisions in this segment.
What I've done with my anger is lead me to think, here's what you need to do to correct your situation.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Not here's what I need to
And
do.
You have a tendency to avoid a situation.
Like what?
I don't want to mention it because I'll get angry again.
Don't get angry.
Like your story on Joe Hour. Just pretend like you never did that interview and it'll go away. Instead of thinking about, wait a minute, I did do the interview and Joe Hour knows it. So I wonder what he's thinking since it hasn't appeared and it's a year later. Those kind of things would drive me completely bonkers if I'm not there already. And now we see another situation that I'm not going to mention where you could do the same thing.
Well, I'll try to figure that one out.
Rather than just confront a situation.
And make myself look like the biggest moron on earth.
So what? Wouldn't you rather look like the biggest moron on earth who is trying to correct something rather than leaving people wondering, wait a minute, I did that thing with Jeff Lutz, but what happened? Wonder what happened to it? Wouldn't you rather
I'm not sure.
Really?
I don't know.
You'd rather be the moron.
Yeah, I kind of would, rather than make somebody else feel bad. Or
how is that going to make people here's my thought. If something you do in the media world falls short or doesn't fall at all, it's up to you to rectify that situation and to make it right. That's my firm belief.
Yeah, you're probably not wrong either.
So, yeah, is it easy to go to somebody and say, hey, man, I screwed up. This didn't come out the way I wanted. We need to figure out a way to make it happen. And then you move on from there. And if they think you're a dunderhead, so what? At the end of the day, you're trying to get the thing done right, correct?
I suppose. But I don't like inconveniencing people. I mean, it's just there's a lot of things that I would rather just be an idiot than make people cause anybody any
But in your
strife.
way of being an idiot, you avoid even conversing or communicating with said person about the issues that happen. So your idea of being an idiot is to leave people wondering.
That's not good either.
Well, I hope you come to your senses on that because it's a no-brainer for me.
Yeah, I'm a little close to it right now, so I probably need to calm down, and then
I need to calm down.
No, I need to calm down because I'm upset about it. But I'll deal with that.
Well, sometimes things in the media world don't work, and when they don't work, I mean, I've done interviews in the past where I forgot to turn my tape recorder on.
Yeah, me too.
So I call them and I say, you know what? You're not going to believe this. I did this 15-minute interview with you, and I forgot to turn my recorder on. Do you mind doing it again and you 99.9, I can't think of a time where they didn't.
Well, I've done that also.
Yeah, they might think to themselves, what the hell? But they're cordial and they do it again. And those kinds of things happen periodically. So sometimes you have to suck it up.
Yep, you sure do.
On that note, we'll take a break.
You think we got anything accomplished in that?
I better have.
I'm talking about we.
No, we better have.
Okay.
I'm just saying that. We better have. We'll come back. We'll continue the discussion. We'll take some of the edge off. Although I thought that was a fairly innocent
I don't mind it.
Appraisal of the American Athletic Conference.
I thought I thought you meant the argument was
apparently
innocent.
I didn't do it correctly. I'll try harder
say that.
in the next segment.
Oh, my
Stay
God.
with us.
I'm Snoop Dogg, and I'm giving up smoke. I know what you're thinking. Snoop, smoke is kind of your whole thing. But I'm done with it. I'm done with the coughing and my clothes smelling all funky. I'm going smokeless. Solo stove, fix 5. They took out the smoke. Now you can have a nice blaze without any clouds ruining your day. Go smokeless. Go to solostove.com. Tell them Big Snoop Dogg sent you.
When things feel a bit chaotic, Instacart helps deliver milk and sausage. Add a little life to your cart. Get stuff from literally all your stores, from baby wipes to albacore. Add a little life to your cart. Instacart helps get your groceries. Your first 3 deliveries are free.
Download Instacart. Add life to cart. Terms apply.
Walk the dogs, school drop-off, meetings from 10 to 3, take kids to soccer, then no time left for a jog.
When everyone else is relying on you, it's easy to put your needs last. BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist online, so you can show up for yourself the way you do for others. Visit BetterHelp.com/positive to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp.com/positive.
This is the Bob and Jeff Show on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
869-1240, that is the IHOP hotline. We always look forward to hearing from you on the IHOP hotline, brought to you by IHOP, where you can enjoy Wonka's Perfectly Purple Pancakes. They're part of the special right now at IHOP. All right, so nothing that we know of on the cusp of happening in baseball outside of the Dodgers now, rumored to be on Yamamoto, Glasnow, Hader, pretty much anybody you know of. It sounds like the Dodgers are at least making an attempt.
They'll be in on everybody. So that I did see what I was looking at during the Willy Wonka part of the conversation.
During that part,
Ken Rosenthal reported that Shohei Ohtani, if one particular specific personnel move is made with the Dodgers, he can opt out of the contract at the end of that season. But it didn't say what the move was.
I wonder if he and Yamamoto don't get along.
Well, maybe.
Well, I mean, why wouldn't he tell us?
Well, it seems like it's somebody who would be off the roster. It wouldn't be part of the team anymore. And, you know, who knows if that player is going to be part of the team for the next 10 years. So who knows what that's going to look like.
I don't know what
It's a weird clause to put in a deal, but I guess he wanted it.
I don't know what that means. I just know I want the Cardinals to sign Phil Maton. That's what I want.
Really? The reliever?
Yeah, I became convinced of him last night when I was watching one of the baseball shows, and they were going through him and his stuff. He's got nasty stuff.
He's good.
And I want him for the Cardinals.
Cleveland for a while.
I want him for the Cardinals.
I hope you get him.
And then maybe one more reliever. What the Cardinals have done that I like is that they've bolstered their pitching not only in the major leagues but in the minor leagues.
That's
They've
important.
They've brought in a lot of pitching, and they needed that throughout their organization.
No doubt.
You go back and look at the Cardinals over the past couple years, their minor league teams gave up a ton of runs too.
Yeah, Double A especially is what I watched because of the wind surge. Pitching in the Texas League was tough to come by. Even the guys that got called up to the big leagues, like the Brian Wu kid to Seattle, I mean, he wasn't great in the Texas League. It's a hard league to pitch in.
Tough league to pitch in. Look at our own Riverfront Stadium. Right-handed hitters have a heyday in that ballpark.
Yes, they do.
Left-handed hitters, not so much, but it's the right-handed
used to be
hitting
the opposite.
haven because the ball flies.
Very much so.
The wind, it's not a very deep park in left field, so a lot of home runs are hit.
That's good for you.
Well, it's good for League 42 in that we have a promotion with the Wind Surge and Fidelity Bank where we get $100 for every home run the Wind Surge hit. We appreciate that.
A heck of a deal.
That is a heck of a deal. And you mentioned that, and I, of course, mentioned League 42. And if you would like to coach in League 42, either as a head coach, we have one head coaching opening for a T-ball team, and we have a handful of openings for assistant coaches to help us out. We have 46 teams, 600 kids, and we are always in need of coaches. And I've had good luck here when I've reached out in the past, and people have said, I think I might give that a shot. And that's what I'm asking for today. Somebody to say, I might give that a shot.
Absolutely.
Reach out to me at Bob Lutz on Twitter, League42Wichita@gmail.com. I'm very easy to find. And if you have an interest in serving a very good nonprofit, a youth baseball league that we're very proud of, get with me. I'd love to add a few more coaches. When you have 46 teams, you need a lot of coaches.
No doubt.
46 teams.
That's a lot. That's quite a few. We had 600 players or so.
Yes, we are.
It's very good.
We are at 600 players. All right, what else is going on? Help me out. Give me something.
What else is going on? That's a good question.
All right, let's do that. We got somebody holding. His name is Robert. Robert, welcome.
How are y'all?
Hello, Robert. Good to hear from you.
Good. I don't really know why you're talking about the Cardinals. You should still be discussing the Texas Rangers winning the World Series or the Longhorns winning the Big 12 and kicking everybody's tail as they left. I think I called in the beginning of the year and said that would happen.
Yeah,
and
Texas
it was
has always
nice.
been. It's set up well for Texas this year. They had a really good team. They've got a really good quarterback, a lot of talent. It came together for Texas. So, yeah, I can't take that away from you. Congratulations. And
Thank you.
Congratulations on the Texas Rangers.
Yes, that was very nice as well. Exercise a few demons on both of those teams.
Well, we'll see.
I haven't been able
We'll
to
see
call
how you
in.
follow it up. We'll see how you
Who cares
follow
how
it
they
up.
follow it up? They got flags fly forever, my friend.
Yeah,
Exactly.
nice job.
Exactly.
Well, congratulations,
they'll be
Robert. We
fine.
appreciate it.
Yeah, y'all have a good one.
You too.
There you go, little Texas Rangers.
Yeah,
man.
Rangers are going to be fine, as he mentioned. I know they were in on Ohtani. They're looking to make some other moves, but that's a roster that just won the World Series, so you don't need to upgrade it too much. And I'm envious, of course, of Robert because Texas had never won a World Series, and now he knows what that feels like. I don't know what that feels like.
You're one of the rare people who don't know what that feels like.
I want to know what that feels like.
I don't know that I feel like you're going to find out what that feels like.
I
in the
felt
near
it for
future.
about half a second when I thought a ball hit by Jason Kipnis off Aroldis Chapman was going to be a walk-off homer before it went foul. But no, I don't know what that feels like.
Well, I mean, it's something that I'd like you to experience. I haven't experienced it now in 12 and a half years.
But you have.
Yeah, but once you get those, you want them. I need more. I need another flag.
Well, it's going to be tough. The National League is
Dodgers
gauntlet.
are trying to set themselves apart. I hope they fail miserably. The Braves certainly look like
Braves are doing weird stuff.
Who?
Braves.
Not really.
They get all these. They make these trades and then they waive guys that they just got. They've gotten 4 guys from the Mariners and they got rid of 3 of them.
No, that's what they do.
So they got Jared Kelenic, so good for them.
The Braves, the Phillies certainly look like a team to reckon with. The Reds, in my opinion, are building a potentially a Braves-like ball club. I think very highly of their talent.
We'll have to see. Yeah, I mean, I would agree. I would say Matt McClain was kind of the breakout guy, but Steer did a lot. We'll have to see if they have a superstar.
De La Cruz.
Yeah, maybe.
Marte. Who's the other kid?
McClain.
No, there's another one.
Encarnacion Stand.
Yeah, we got tons of them. They're everywhere.
Rumor is the Guardians will be trading Shane Bieber to the Reds, but
we'll see.
We will see.
For Jonathan India.
Okay, you can put him at short or at second.
He's not a shortstop.
I know, at second, and move Arias to the outfield. We're good.
You're not that good. You're not that good.
We're fine.
You're not fine. You're not fine.
Yeah, we are.
I picked the Tigers to win that division.
Well, good luck with it. Not sure how, but good luck with it.
Because I like what they're doing. I like their young talent. Listen, this is what teams do. They've been bad for a long time. They draft well. They have a good manager in A.J. Hinch. Torkelson, Riley Green, what's the Carpenter? They got some hitters.
Yeah, Torkelson has never really hit.
He hit last year.
He did?
Second half of last year is very good.
Good for him.
So, watch out for him. That's my point.
He's a 233 hitter.
That's not the second half.
31 homers.
31 homers. You'll take that any day. I like what I see of the Tigers. I like their pitching. Even though they lost Eduardo Rodriguez. If they're healthy, they're legit.
They don't have Lorenzen anymore. Isn't he a free agent? We'll see.
Lorenzen went to the National League last year to the Phillies.
Well, he had a 3.58 ERA.
You used to make the argument that you followed baseball closer than I did.
Keep track of all these moves.
Why can I?
I don't know if I follow it closer, but I certainly know more.
Why can I track all the moves?
I don't know.
Because I always have.
Why can you?
Because I always have.
Sorry that I forgot.
I was 10 years old.
Sorry that I forgot Lorenzen.
I've known every move
Phillies.
made. You name a move, I know about it.
Congratulations.
Ask me one.
No, I don't have any.
No, go ahead. Just ask me about a move.
How did I don't know. You're putting me on the spot.
Well, think about it, and I'll guarantee I'll get it right.
How did Fernando Tatis end up on the Padres?
Well, that's easy. He decided not to play for the Cardinals.
Is that right?
He got traded.
For?
Can't remember.
James Shields.
Yeah, White Sox. But initially the Cardinals wanted to sign him.
Well, duh. I mean, that's a duh move.
That would have been a duh move, but it didn't ever happen.
White Sox gave up on him. So, a late bloomer, I guess, in some ways.
Yeah, but he's not that old. He's still a young guy. And the Padres are an interesting team going into next season. There's reasons to think they're going to be really good, and there's reasons to think not. Patrick Mahomes' message to Kadarius Toney, be you. I don't know what that means. How about lining up on sides? That would be my message. Quit killing us, Kadarius.
I read a Joe Posnanski thing. I like. He makes me think, since that's kind of the theme of the day.
Well, apparently I didn't make you think with my American Athletic.
Well, you gave me all the information, so I didn't need to think. He said basically we let penalties dictate too much of the game. Some of them, take up 30 yards or pass interference, and you get these huge chunks of the field, and it's decided by the officials a lot. What if we picked up every flag that didn't impact the play?
Well, I don't know how that would look.
I don't either, but that was his.
That seems like it would lead to mayhem.
It does in a lot of ways. I agree. But what's the point of throwing the flag? I mean, I get it. It's a penalty.
There are
you
rules.
Throw the flag. I get it.
There are rules.
I get it, but
if
it
you
changed
break a
nothing.
rule, you get. I don't care if it changes anything. There's rules.
I get it.
If you call a runner out at first or safe at first, and he was out, and that runner goes on to score. Now we got replay and that would rectify that. But you see my point. If no rules were enforced, what would you have?
I get it. But sometimes, a block in the back on a punt return is 20 yards behind the play, and it gets called.
Don't block in the back.
I hear you. I get it. There's rules. But wouldn't we rather see the players decide some of these?
Not if rules are broken.
But that's an official deciding a game.
So what? No, it's the player that broke the rule who's impacting the game.
But that play, Kadarius Toney lining up offside while a rule and while he did it egregiously affected no part of the game.
So what?
So that's an official deciding a game. Is that what you want as a fan?
He threw the flag before anything happened with the lateral pass or even the completion.
I understand.
The rule was broken before any of that.
I get it.
It's a broken rule.
But if we just pick that flag up,
stick to baseball. Yeah, that you heard it.
If we pick that flag up and say, well, it didn't matter, touchdown counts.
Well, then what are you doing if you're Buffalo? Wait, that rule doesn't matter?
I don't know.
Are you having a bad day?
Then you just...
Are you?
No, and I'm having a great day. I don't even know what you're talking about.
That's a ridiculous premise. All right, Virgil Ballard, our commissioner of our Fantasy Football League, joins us. We've got playoffs starting this week. I failed to make the playoffs. Jeff and Duda both did by the skin of their teeth, and so did Virgil, who's in the playoffs and actually facing Jeff in the first round this week. Virgil, welcome.
Good day, sir. How are you guys doing?
Well, I've had a miserable fantasy season. Just never figured it out. Bad team. Couldn't get it straightened out. So I'm sitting on the sidelines. I'm actually playing Shannon Great in the consolation round, which means absolutely nothing. But we've had Benny Dick kind of take things over. Finish 11-2-1. Why was Benny, who doesn't know a thing about football, why was he this good this year?
Well, Benny got the picks right. I mean, Benny always goes in and he'll get his starting lineup really, really good. He'll hit those positions really well. Then he kind of struggles a little on depth, but he's managed to avoid injuries and stuff like that, and has got a pretty solid starting 8. So depth hadn't really killed him, and there he is standing up there on top of he must know what he's doing. So even though he tried to draft several players that had already been drafted before, he got the right ones when he needed to.
There you go. I know I play you, Virgil, in this first round of the playoffs, but what would you do if you were me? I've got C.J. Stroud. I just actually picked up a quarterback. I won't tell you who it is, but who would you go with if Stroud couldn't play?
Well, I mean, honestly, is Browning available? I mean, or Flacco. Both
Yeah,
those
I went
guys,
with Flacco. I don't think Browning's. I don't think Browning's available. I went Flacco.
Okay. Yeah, those are two guys that are performing quite well. I mean, I'm really rooting for Joe Flacco, man. I'm a big Flacco guy, so they've got he's got just enough weapons. Go ahead, Bob.
Yes.
Doesn't it say a lot about the current state of quarterbacking in the NFL that someone like Joe Flacco can come back and actually be pretty darn good for the Cleveland Browns?
Yeah.
I wonder if this will be a trend of trying to get older quarterbacks to come back.
Well, he's got a great arm. That's what helps him.
Yeah, he's got a live arm. Yep. And he's always had a live arm. The problem with Flacco has always been his mobility. So, I mean, at the end of when he was in Baltimore, our offensive line, we had a couple of retirements after the Super Bowl, so our offensive line wasn't that great. then he went to Denver, and they had a porous offensive line. And if you can keep him upright, he's got a lot live enough arm. He'll find receivers downfield. And there's nothing wrong with being a veteran in this league. You see a lot of quarterbacks towards the end of their career when they see things a lot quicker, a lot easier, and he's always been a good teammate. So I mean, I think Cleveland might have a decision to make. Let's think if he goes on a run here and takes them on a deep playoff run, what do you do with Deshaun Watson? I mean,
it's a good question. It's a fair question. I don't know what you do with Deshaun in that case.
And you mentioned Jake Browning, and the Bengals aren't dead in the water. I mean,
no.
Who's to say they couldn't have a run in them? It's kind of interesting. You feel your team, the Ravens, is currently the number 1 seed in the AFC. How confident are you in what has been a very strange season?
I think the Ravens have been in every game. The 3 games they lost, they've made critical mistakes on their own. They weren't nearly. I mean, one of them was a coaching decision, and not having someone call a fair catch instead of just run the play. And so we'll know more about the Ravens in a couple of weeks. They got the Jags, then the 49ers, and then Miami. And after those 3 games, if they come out of that 2-1, well, then we're gonna get the home field advantage in the AFC, and we'll see if that this time it helps us. I mean, we had it once before when Lamar's second year, and they lost their very first playoff game. So, but they're a good team, and everybody talks about MVPs, and of course, everybody wants offense. But I think that the linebacker we got from Chicago, my God, he has made a world of difference in that defense too. So, but as far as the fantasy playoffs go, we're going to have a new champion this year. Jason Norris and Zach Woods are both out of it, so the last 2 champions are gone. So,
well, they both are terrible. I mean, let's be honest.
Takes a lot of luck. This has been a tough year.
Yeah,
it has been a tough year.
It's the first time I haven't made the playoffs in a while.
Any guess on who the leading scorer in our fantasy league is this year?
A player?
Player, yeah.
Team or player?
Player.
Tyreek Hill?
Normally, yep, Tyreek Hill. Normally it's a quarterback. In our league, normally it's always been a quarterback, but Tyreek Hill leads it this year. And the leading quarterback is Josh Allen, who you wouldn't think is having that good a year.
You wouldn't think that.
Yeah.
You would definitely not.
That is strange.
It's just been a weird year. And like earlier in the year, I think, Bob, you and Jeff didn't you trade C.J. Stroud for Patrick Mahomes?
I did, and some other players. And that trade didn't really help me the way I'd hoped it would.
Yeah, when I saw it, I was like, wow. And then Jeff ended up getting the better part of that at least that quarterback matchup in that, which goes to tell you all you need to know about fantasy this year.
Yep. Well, Jeff's in the playoffs. He's your opponent coming up this week. Duda also in the playoffs. So I'm the last man out.
Yeah, Jeff beat the brakes out of me the first time, so we'll have a little revenge on him this time maybe.
Yeah, we'll see. I got some injuries, so I like your chances. We'll have to see. I need some luck.
Well, hey, there's a lot of luck involved. I mean, one other thing, I looked at the final standings, and every year I say don't draft a kicker early, don't draft a kicker early, don't draft a kicker early, and the number 1 kicker this year was Aubrey from the Cowboys, who probably wasn't even drafted. So. Wow. Just let that stick in your mind next year when everybody's drafting the Justin Tuckers and the kickers. Just wait on that. Same with defense.
Well, we're bringing it back to a 10-team league next year.
Yeah, I think that threw you off on draft night when we went to 12 teams. You could tell you were.
Thank you. That's the.
There you go.
That's the excuse I'm going to go with. Virgil, thank you. We appreciate it.
Hey, good luck to everybody make playoffs. Thanks for everyone for playing this year. It's always, like I said, it's always been fun. It's different every year, and I look forward to
we'll catch up
crowning
with
the
you
champion
before championship. Yeah, we'll
catch
up with you before championship week.
All right, you guys have a Merry Christmas. Be safe.
You too.
Thanks, Virgil.
Virgil Ballard, our fantasy commissioner. All right, tomorrow on the show, the 3-man booth. Yours truly, Jeff and Jason Duda. We look forward to it. We look forward to having you here with us. We'll see you then.
I'm Snoop Dogg, and I'm giving up smoke. I know what you're thinking. Snoop, smoke is kind of your whole thing. But I'm done with it. I'm done with the coughing and my clothes smelling all funky. I'm going smokeless. Solo stove, fixed fire. They took out the smoke. Now you can have a nice blaze without any clouds ruining your day. Go smokeless. Go to solostove.com. Tell them Big Snoop Dogg sent you.
Why is Instacart the holiday rescue app? Because you can get all your seasonal decor delivered instead of having to drive to 12 different stores. Candles and candy canes? Delivered. Wreaths and reindeer? Delivered. Lights from Lowe's? Delivered. And since I know you're going to ask, inflatable snowman? Delivered. So this season, stay in and get decked out. Download Instacart, the holiday rescue app, to get free delivery on your first 3 orders. Offer valid for a limited time. $10 minimum per order. Additional terms apply.
Walk the dogs, school drop-off, meetings from 10 to 3, take kids to soccer, then no time left for a jog.
When everyone else is relying on you, it's easy to put your needs last. BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist online, so you can show up for yourself the way you do for others. Visit BetterHelp.com/positive to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp.com/positive.